Hello. We just heard a door open or close, and so we're thinking about getting barking, but we're not gonna do that, right, Joni? No, we're not gonna bark. Don't do it. Okay, we're in part 2. If you didn't see part 1, you might want to go check it out, but just a little overview. We're playing bingo, kind of. I can't really do bingo. I'm not really sure how to do bingo full on online like this, but I have a bingo board of I'm boarding for my 30s. Here's what I'm packing. And I did letters B and I in my last video. And now I'm doing N, G, and O. And so I'm just listing out what I have for all of my spaces on those columns. And I need you to tell me what you would have in those columns too, because I think you probably have some pretty great things. Okay, let's do G. And I have what I'm doing to annoy TSA or a flight attendant. So, number 1, I'm probably forgetting that I stuck a bottle of liquid in my carry-on, and whether it be like a water bottle or like a protein shake that I threw in there, and I was like, I'm gonna drink this before I get to security. Or at one point when I was younger, I think I had bought a gift for a friend, and it was like perfume or lotion or something like that, and I had totally forgot. Like, that's obviously not, it was this huge like gift thing, huge bottles of it, and I like cried my eyes out because they were like, you can't take this, what are you doing? What are you doing with this on your carry-on? And I was so embarrassed, felt so bad, and my parents like helped me. Like, we got out of line, and I think we went and like mailed it off to our house, which I'm sure was like the same cost of buying the items. Anyways, so yeah, I'm probably forgetting something, especially if I'm with my husband. I don't know if you relate to this, but when I'm with my husband, my brain doesn't function very well. I feel like I'm like, he's got it, he knows what we're doing, I'm just here for the ride. I don't know what it is, because I also am normally like kind of like an on the top of it kind of person. Since becoming a mom, that has changed a little bit. I'm way more like barely making it. I mean, I'm not like in survival. I mean, sometimes. What I'm trying to say is I'm a lot more like go with the flow, and just kind of like we're like figuring things out as we go. And you know, the day before I'm like, okay, let's make sure we have this and this. But when my husband is with me, I just am like, he knows what we're doing, he's got it taken care of, and my brain is just like, I'm along with the ride, you tell me what to do. So I don't know, especially if I'm with him, I'm definitely forgetting something, because I'm just gonna assume he's got it and he knows like the questions to ask me, and then I'll get mad at him if he doesn't ask me the questions to remind me to get the things that like I should have remembered in the first place. But you know. All right, number 2, I'm definitely getting motion sickness. I'm definitely going to be annoying the flight attendant by being like, hey, I don't have any throw-up bags in this right here. I'm gonna need some just in case, because I should have taken some Dramamine, but I really don't like taking that, and so I tried to hold off as long as possible, and now I'm regretting that, and I should have definitely taken it like 30 minutes ago. So I'm gonna need some throw-up bags just in case. And I'm so sorry for whoever's sitting next to me, because hopefully it's a family member, because they know how high maintenance I am. Then we have our free space, so I'm not including anything there. Number 4, I'm also gonna be annoying someone by forgetting my ID, or not having like not having a pen, because when my husband and I went to Mexico, I feel like it was when we, I think when we got to Mexico, because nobody spoke English, and you had to fill out something. You had to fill out a form to like be able to leave. I don't know what was happening, but everyone had a pen and we did not have a pen, and it was the weirdest thing. Everyone was filling out these forms, right? And we're like asking everyone, can we borrow your pen, and all these pens were disappearing. Like, I don't know what happened to them. And then maybe just, I feel like everyone just knew that they had to bring a pen, and so they brought their pen, and then maybe they took them with them, and we were asking like the agents that were working there, and no one understood us. And my husband and I are just like, we're literally not going to leave this place because we don't have a pen. So I felt like everyone was so annoyed because I was like, well, I just need a pen, please. Can I borrow your pen? And either people didn't understand what we were saying, or they were just like, no, dude, like, get your own pen. I was like, I will never not have a pen in my bag, ever. So, and I've also gone to the airport and not had my ID, so yeah. I'm really fun to travel with. Okay, number 5. Not knowing like a word that they're saying, or maybe like taking something out of context. I definitely have a lot of airhead moments. Like one time my friend said, you're definitely gonna judge me for this. One time my friend had said, I think it was, we were like looking at our licenses. We had just turned 16 or 15, and I was like, I'm an organ donor. Are you an Arizona donor? Because I was from Oregon and she lived in Arizona, and she like laughed and was like, wait, are you being serious? And I didn't even put it together until like 2 minutes later. I was like, oh my gosh, organ, like the organs in your body. I don't know why I even said that. I do things like that. Just, I don't know. I have like major airhead moments like that. And so there would more than likely, like this happens still on like a weekly basis. So there would more than likely be something that I say that makes a fool of myself, or that someone says and I maybe don't understand the word, or I like have the wrong meaning of the word. So, you know, I gotta keep things fun and interesting. So that would definitely happen. Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, these would either annoy TSA, a flight attendant, or whoever I'm traveling with. So any of those people. Okay. The next letter, G. These are notes I'm stuffing in my back pocket from my 20s. So, number 1, where I parked, because if we're flying somewhere and I'm coming back, I'm probably not coming back to my 20s, unfortunately. But I will forget where I parked, so I'm gonna have that written down or taking a picture of that. Number 2, I wrote the Bible verse, Proverbs 27:9. You'll have to look it up, but something about the way I took that Bible verse was how like good words are like perfume, and they're like I should look up the Bible verse, but it's how like encouragement is like joy to a friend or someone that you're encouraging. And I just always love trying to build someone up or just give them something positive. I once heard someone say that when a compliment comes in your head, like let's say you're talking to someone and then you think of a compliment about them, that compliment was not meant for you, it was meant for them. So make sure you tell them. And I have never forgotten that. I sometimes get nervous to say the compliment. I'm like, they're gonna think I'm weird, but I try to say that those compliments that come to my head, and I love that reminder. And I think just I love building people up and encouraging people. And so even if I think that, you know, words can be life or death, and it's amazing how just one little thing that we say can completely change someone's day or week or month around, and something it can stick with them for the rest of their life, honestly. Okay. Also, I could completely be misunderstanding that Bible verse, so look it up and decide for yourself what you think it means. Okay, the next one is another Bible verse in Matthew 19:14, and that's something like, the kingdom belongs to the children, it's theirs. And that Bible verse, ever since becoming a mom too, I think that Bible verse just means so much to me now. And just, you know, I think about how important it is to never hinder them from the kingdom of heaven and how it's theirs. And it just, motherhood in general, I don't think there's anything out there that could ever bring you closer to like a stronger relationship with God than being a parent, however capacity that is. Just being around kids is wild. How it like stretches your faith and grows it in all the best ways. And the kingdom belongs to them. We're just here to not hinder that, but do the opposite. What's the opposite of hinder? Help them to see that it's theirs, and always just be guiding them to God. And in turn, it guides us in our relationship to Him too. It's like we have these little vessels of heaven reminding us that we have like one foot on earth and one foot in heaven, all the time. And so their presence just brings that heaven presence to us even more, and always is reminding us of the importance of the kingdom. And I'm so grateful for that. I think that being a mom is one of the hardest things I've ever done, and one of the most honoring and best and rewarding things that I know I'll ever do. And just that Bible verse is something I'm always thinking about. Any Bible verses that have to do, I feel like, with parenting. Hey, I'm back. My phone had died. So, all right, next one. Another note that I always want to keep in my back pocket, something I always want to remember. I watched this little mini clip about this, and it was so good. The lesson or takeaway from it was, some were called to minister to thousands, and some were called to minister to one that ministers to thousands. And I could just leave it at that. I remember in this video, I think the mom, she went to heaven and was talking to God and was like, I didn't do anything though. And He was like, whoa, just look at how you took care of these children, basically. And it was really beautiful. I should find the video again and link it, because yeah, being a mom is just one of those jobs that sometimes feels like it's not, I think maybe it doesn't feel impactful, especially when, it just feels like you're changing diapers and cleaning up messes and stuff like that. But it's so incredibly impactful, and I say that as someone who feels that way sometimes too. And I saw this post on Instagram one time that said something like, she was a camp counselor, for like a youth group or something, and she loved it. And I'm assuming it was like for all ages, and she loved being like with the teenagers and middle schoolers and things like that. And she, at her last camp, she was sharing how she didn't love it at first. It was like really unorganized, and she ended up being with like the babies and toddlers, and she was like, gosh, I'm just missing out on everything with the other kids. And I can't remember, found the Instagram post, I read it. The person was saying how, so what I had said, and then she said that just in a divine way, she found herself kind of encouraging someone in a similar yet different situation. And she had found herself saying, ministry is not found in a title or a role, but it's found in how you know that the Holy Spirit is always with you. And you have like the power of that spiritual authority is just always knowing it's always with you. And she became convicted and was saying how in that moment she realized that there wasn't like a hierarchy of of when you're more impactful or not, but knowing that when you have the Holy Spirit in you, God is always at work no matter who you're with. And she just was saying how she just found herself delighting in, you know, listening to a 2-year-old giggle and changing a baby's diaper, and how it just made her see that, you know, when we delight in our work and the things that God has given us, He's always at work. So that's something that I love, how God has worked in me since giving me Luke, and throughout my 20s, of just seeing that. And I struggle a lot with always feeling like that hierarchy she had mentioned, and like, how can I do the best? How can I be the best? How can I be the most impactful? And that's something I think I'll continue to work on in my 30s. And so all of those reminders in my back pocket are always needed. Okay, next one. Blank led you to blank. You could fill in the blanks however you want, in probably any type of situation. Sometimes, like I had said, you know, I'm always trying to be the most impactful, be the best, make the best decision. And so I know I have spent a lot of time just agonizing over the decision and like which one is right, which one is wrong, or some decisions I've made, and just like being frustrated with some of the decisions I have made, or maybe the money I've spent. I'm thinking about like my health journey specifically, on trying to help get rid of my headaches. And one thing I really learned from that journey is that really sometimes, you know, you can ask God for guidance, and then you could just make a decision and trust that His plans are always sovereign, and the decisions that you make can't make His plans not happening. You know, you don't have that would be like saying that we have as much authority as God does. And so, which is funny to think of that, because I think the thoughts I have sometimes, I put so much pressure on making the right decision, and sometimes it's not so much about what's right or what's wrong. It's just about leaning into God, asking Him for help, and then trusting that He's gonna be with me through it, regardless of the decision that I make. And those decisions lead us to other great things. And when I was thinking about my headache journey specifically, sometimes I would think about it as like, I hit another dead end and I'm starting over again. That's not how it was at all. Each like step I took, sometimes I just ended up taking a left or a right, and it led me to maybe a person that then led me to the next thing. And so the journey wasn't like an easy line, but that's the whole point, right? We hit those highs and valleys and left turns and right turns for a reason, and we come out better for it too. Okay. Number 6, I did a couple more on this call because there's so many things that, gosh, there's like daily lessons we learn. I struggled with this because I, once again, was like, I want to write all of these notes I want to have like my perfect list of notes, and I'm never going to remember it all. So that's where I need you to come in and tell me what notes you always have in your back pocket that you always want to remember. Because yeah, I know that we all can glean something from each other. Okay, number 6, blessings will be tenfold. I love this one, and I've seen it play out in my life so many times, especially when it comes to my husband's work. He does construction and has his own business, and there's so many times where we have been like at a place where we're not sure what to do, and we always try to take the road of never taking advantage of people, you know, and even if that means he specifically is working without pay, or who knows, whatever the situation is, and it always comes back and blesses us tenfold. And there's some Bible verse on this and I couldn't find it, so if you know it, please tell me it. But yeah, you'll always be blessed tenfold. God always sees those, and your rewards, the rewards that he has for you, will never be able to even come close to the rewards that we have. And so those times where we're delaying things or putting people, putting like, what's the word? Just staying true and having integrity, they're always going to come back, and you're gonna reap what you sow tenfold. Okay, number 7. I think this has just been on my mind lately, but something that I definitely think that I'll be working on throughout my 30s too. But don't fill all of your quiet time up with sounds and noise that you forget to give God time to talk to you, even if it's just 5 minutes. Okay, that is what I have for G. We are on letter O, and this is my pre-flight thoughts. This is my last one. I would love to know what your pre-flight thoughts are. Number 1, people are good. They surprise me in the best ways, and I expect goodness. I'm always shocked at how kind people are, and there's so many times where I'm like, people suck, and I know we've all said that. But there are so many times where they don't suck. They actually are the exact opposite. Sometimes they are just the blessing that you need in that moment. And just today I was at the store, Luke was screaming, and some older gentleman in his like scooter, I think he was in a scooter, drove by and was like, the best noise is a happy child. And just comments like that just always melt my heart, because I know that it's really easy to see the negative comments that people say, or see the glares, or just expect or like assume that they're upset, and a lot of times they're not. A lot of times people really understand. A lot of people have had kids or have kids, and they understand. And sometimes maybe someone's just having a bad day. And so I feel like the more goodness I expect, the more I see. And I'm always pleasantly surprised at people too. There was one time where I was at the airport and I was with Luke by myself. We were flying together, and obviously together. He was taking his own flight. I was going somewhere else. Anyways, I was so shocked by how many people offered to help, how kind people were. He was loud. He was screaming. He did pretty good, but he had his moments. And just anytime I looked like I was struggling, or I couldn't get the stroller open and my hands are full, people would always ask for help. Like, it never failed. I got asked for help so many times, and I look back and I wish I would have accepted more help. That's something that I will take with me to my 30s too, is accepting help more and asking for help more, because I see it now as a gift to me and to them. Because think about it, when you ask someone, or when you notice that someone needs help and you're like, hey, can I help you with that? And they accept the help and you help them, it makes you feel so good. You're like, oh, I noticed that, I helped them, and that's a gift to that person. And so I just hate bothering people, and anytime I can realize that I'm not a bother, I'm like giving them a gift. I think I love it. So yeah, people are good. People expect goodness, and you'll see it. What you look for, you will find. Number 2, I am another pre-flight thought that I'll probably continue to take with me, checking like 8 times to make sure that my wallet is in the same spot and my ID is still in that same spot, because when I need it, I want to make sure it's there. And then when I get there, it's probably not going to be there, because like the 12th and last time I checked, I decided to move it maybe to a different spot. So I'm gonna be taking that with me. All right. Number 3, replaying a weird comment that I said 2 weeks ago. I think I'm gonna continue to be doing that. Do you ever say something and you're like, at that time, I'm like, rethinking it over and over. I'm like, gosh, why did I say that? I probably made this person feel like this. And I'll sometimes randomly think of those moments like months later. years later. Like, I still remember the situation where I said this and made this person probably feel this way. I'm totally making it up. Like, who knows if they felt that way. All right, number 4, another pre-flight thought. Whenever I'm at the airport, I'm always thinking like, last time I was here, I was going to this place, and it makes me think about how times change, things change, and some things stay the same too. Just thinking about how it's a gift. I am always thinking about how much of a gift life is, and another trip that I get to take, another gift, and how also the things that have changed, or maybe things I've changed my mind about, it's a gift to be able to grow and change my mind on things. And it's probably weird if you don't change your mind on things. It's probably weird if you don't grow. So, and number 5, I love being an adult. I don't know why, but sometimes you're like, I don't know, whenever I'm doing something like adult-ish, which is nothing like, what's something that I've done recently? I don't know. Paying bills. I can't think of anything, like budgeting, doing taxes, you know, being at the airport on like a Wednesday morning. I'm always like, I love that I can just not be at work. I can like take time off work. I get to be here. I get to do this. Like, I don't know. When you're a kid, you don't have as many, what's the word? Independence. And I feel like even when I was younger, I loved my parents dearly, but I was like ready to be on my own and like be independent and take care of things. And I just love having the freedom to make my own decisions, even though I am like an 80-year-old at heart and just don't do anything crazy or anything like that. I just love that I don't know, I sometimes I will be doing something and I'm like, gosh, I love that I love this for me. I love that I get to do this, that I made this decision and here I am doing this. And I'm such an adult right now, even though it's like something silly. Or if like Luke and I are out in the middle of the day and I am like, maybe we went to an appointment and then I stopped and got us lunch, and I'm like, gosh, I love that I'm an adult and I get to do this. We just get to go have lunch when we want, even though, you know, I have to sometimes take time off from work or whatever. But do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes that is a thought I would have at the airport if I'm like just sitting there contemplating like, gosh, I love being an adult. Okay. And I say that because I feel like when you're younger, people are always like, just wait until you get older, like you're gonna wish you were this age, which is true. I mean, we always miss those times too. But I'm not gonna lie, I like being an adult too. So last one, number 6, I added an extra one to this column too, is I just have to remind myself that even though I'm getting older, I'm going into my 30s soon, you know, it's the cliche, you're getting wiser, but I like to give the visual of like a tree, and how our tree trunk is just getting like stronger. You know, it's not able to be easily swayed as much, which could be good and bad maybe. And isn't it, when you think about like trees and how the amount of rings is how old the trees are, that's true, right? Is that accurate? Is this false information? I feel like I learned this in school. Then I think about that, like I thought when I was younger, I remember thinking how cool it was to see how many rings a tree had. I was like, that is amazing. And just looking at those beautiful trees and how long they have been there. And that's us as we're getting older and we are gaining more wisdom, gaining more experiences under our belt. And it's a really beautiful thing, even though sometimes you don't want to get older either too. So life is so bittersweet, you know? All right, that's my best that I could do of my game idea of boarding for my 30s. And here's what I'm packing. I need to know your things. My dog needs to come inside. I'm gonna go let him in. Tell me your things so that I can jot down some more on my list, and I know that you have some good ones too.